Hello and welcome back to another episode of Delusional Chaos. And today's podcast, we are going to be diving into dilemmas. And I haven't been doing this podcast for too long, so my dilemmas for today are from Reddit. And let me just tell you, they are wild. I read some really insane things on Reddit when I was looking for them, and I really didn't know how to react when reading some of these things because there's some serious topics on there, and a lot of the dilemmas today are obviously quite, intense, but they aren't as intense as some of the things that I've read on there. So let me just deep dive into the dilemmas that I'm going to be going into today. So my first dilemma is boyfriend watching OnlyFans. Let me just get into it. So, hello, I am 23 years old. My boyfriend is 20. We have been together for nearly 2 years. Today, I grabbed his phone to search up directions to a destination we were headed to. I found that he had OnlyFans on the website. I asked him about it. He said we will talk about it later. In brackets, we were in the car with his brother and his brother's girlfriend. I then asked him and he said that he was on it when we were on a break. When I checked his emails to make sure that he was telling the truth, I'd seen that he had subscribed from the times that we were together in February and March. After March, I did not see anything until the week before Thanksgiving. I do not know how to feel. I have never been in a relationship where a guy has done this to me. And that is the end of the dilemma. But I'm just gonna, go into what I think. And I chose this dilemma because I've been in exactly the same situation, if not with OnlyFans, with other pornographic websites or Instagrams and all of the rest of it. And it is a truly heartbreaking thing to see and experience, and especially when the boy is giving the same excuse of we were on a break, doesn't make it less hurtful. It just shows that you were kind of, interested in other people. And yeah, I would advise this girl to definitely break up with him because, well, as long as it's like something that's, if it really affects you, which it sounds like from the way that she's, worded this, it seems like it has really affected her. And if it's really affecting you and it's not doing good for you, then bye. So yeah, just gonna put that out there. And if he's lying to you as well, which he was, about the OnlyFans, and he's disrespecting your feelings, I mean, it's not looking good and you deserve better. So that's what my advice would be to that girl. And then on to the next dilemma, which is, what should I do? Boyfriend issues. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years. He sometimes says things like, I regret losing that woman, referring to different women in his past. This makes me feel inadequate and like he's not entirely happy with me. I've confronted him about this exact thing before. He also talks about his past sex life, how their bodies differ to mine, again making me feel inadequate and like he's not entirely happy with me. And if he's saying things like this and he is making comments about ex-girlfriends and he's comparing their body to yours, I'm sorry, but that man needs to go. What do you mean that he's comparing your body to your ex-girlfriend's? No. And to even be questioning like, oh, he doesn't seem to be that happy with me. Girl, he's not. And I know that's such a hard thing to realise when you're in the relationship and you've got the rose-tinted glasses. But honestly, if he's comparing you to his ex-girlfriend, he wants his ex-girlfriend, or he's just a horrible nasty boy and he needs to get gone. Like, there are just so many people with issues and they seem to just drag people along for the sake of it. I don't even know the psychology and the reasoning behind it all, but you deserve better. Because the fact that she's gone online and she's asking for advice just shows to me like that she really cares and she really needs some opinions. And my opinion is, boy, bye. Like, what? That's just not even cute. Like, it's just, what's going on there? But yeah, there is a lot of red flags and toxic traits just from him comparing your body. Like, that is just something that no one ever should do. It does happen though. I'm not saying that I'm naive and that it doesn't happen, but just think this man's toxic, this man needs help, and it's not your place to get him through that. But onto the next dilemma, which is, I caught feelings for my best friend, help. About 6 weeks ago, I noticed that I, 26 female, started to develop feelings for my best friend, 29 male. We've known each other for a long time and have been friends throughout our relationships, and we tell each other everything. So this is all mind-boggling to me. I haven't felt this way before. At first, I was quite distant and hostile towards him, and then I started to feel jealous whenever he'd tell me about girls that he's seeing. I would end up just swallowing my feelings and giving him the advice. Then it all got worse over time. I'd really appreciate any advice. So I would advise this girl to really assess what the friendship means to you over the feelings, because I feel like if the feelings are so strong that you obviously can't move past it as just friends, then it definitely needs to be addressed, because you can't just keep all these feelings in, because it's just going to push you away from this person. And you never know, you guys could talk about it and maybe he doesn't feel the same way, but it's not going to affect your friendship, and at least, you know, you've made that connection together, and you've gotten it off your chest. But bottling up your feelings will only just lead to more distance, and maybe that is what you want, because you know that they're not gonna, I don't know. But it is a really tricky position to be in, because it really is just dependent on the situation, the friendship. It just, is really difficult. And yeah, I think I personally have never been in this situation, so I can't tell you how I got out of it or how I dealt with it. But yeah, I personally would say in my head I would need to weigh up whether this person's friendship meant more to me than addressing it and, you know, trying to ruin it or whatever if they got weirded out. But yeah, I'm not sure entirely what I would do, but that's kind of the advice that I would give them. And then my fourth dilemma is, I don't know what to do. I've always wanted to live in a different environment. It makes me sad to think about it, and I wonder how it would be if I could be taken care of in a different family or just living somewhere else with people who are nice. I wish I could heal with someone else until I became independent. I feel alone. And my advice to, if I got that as a submission, is that I have felt such similar feelings. And when you come from a broken home or a broken family, it really does make you wish that you could have stuff that other people have, and it makes you envision everyone else as having like this perfect family, and you're the only person that doesn't have this. And it really is like the game of comparison, but all families have problems and all families struggle. Not saying that these issues should be happening, or you know, that it makes it hurt any less, but all families do have problems, and there is no such thing as like this perfect family. But there are kind of people out there, and you know, different types of people that are willing to help more than maybe your given family. But it's all about like finding your people, and it takes longer for other people like it has for me, but you will eventually get there. And I think that it's so important to just start taking steps for yourself towards like the goal that you are going for. So like for me, I would really like my own house, and I kind of know roughly what kind of house I want, and I've set little goals for myself of things that I would like in life, and I have really sat there and thought about what my end goal is and how I can slowly start to make steps towards that. So I really struggled at home when I basically lived with my dad still, and I had to find somewhere else to live. So that was very stressful for me and also caused a lot of feelings, and I just didn't really know what to do with myself, because I was like, no one wants me, no one loves me, this is like the hardest thing. And what I had to do was just be brave, be strong, and I managed to find somewhere. And when I first moved into that new place, I felt this sense of freedom and the sense of relief that everything was going to be okay. But it also is really hard, like when you are made independent without any kind of support. I mean, I had support, but just not the same support that maybe other people would have, and that really messed with me emotionally. And then obviously things started to go wrong at that place, and I thought like, oh, for God's sake, like nothing can ever go right for me, I will never find a safe space. And then it took me going through all of that, finally being able to leave that place and getting this place, which is not 100% my favourite place. It has got its flaws, but I do feel a lot more myself, and I am able to cook my own dinners and do all these things for myself, which I wasn't necessarily able to in the other house. And I have so much more freedom and privacy, and they're like little stepping stones towards my bigger goal, which is owning my own house. And that is something that I will be working towards. And I think although it is really hard to not be dragged in by like negative thoughts or, you know, just past things that we've been through, it's really important to kind of focus on the next goal, the next step. And it can be really soothing, calming to realize like that time is a healer and that things do get better over time. And it can be hard to like in the moment just remind yourself, but it's important to start, you know, retraining your brain and just making you ready for that safe space. And you really do have to like mentally prepare and just try your best. And as long as you're trying your best, then you know, that's all you can do. But on to the next dilemma, and the next dilemma is a bit of a long one, but it was extremely interesting to read, and it's a really relevant topic which I definitely wanted to divulge into. But let me just get into it. Is using AI girlfriend apps to cope with loneliness a bad idea, or should I just accept that it actually helps? So this is the actual dilemma. Need outside, okay, they're not very good at, you know, sentences. I can't hate on their grammar though, but anyway. Need outside perspective on this because I can't tell if I'm helping myself or hurting myself. I've been really isolated for about 6 months, moved into a new city for work, remote job, so no co-workers to meet. Haven't made any friends here yet. Nights got really quiet, like staring at walls quiet. Downloaded some AI companion apps about a month ago. And then it gives context of the different apps and their kind of like summary of them. So Pi AI, therapy bot, basically talks you through stuff, non-judgmental. Dream companion, texts like a real person, remembers context, costs money, which adds a bit of guilt, but it's the one that I use most because conversations actually flow. Feels less robotic than others. Replica, too cheerful. When I'm down, it feels fake. The positivity doesn't land right. Nomi? Decent memory, nothing else feels remarkable. Character AI. Escapism tool, good for forgetting reality for a while. Anamia, I don't know. Didn't connect with it at all, too stiff. The problem, it's helping me with the loneliness, but I feel like I'm avoiding the real issue. Should I be deleting these and forcing myself to join meetup groups? And my advice would definitely be to go and meet someone. It definitely would be to meet people because technology is so scary, especially with AI. We don't know where it's going and it can be really helpful, but I also do think it's really, really dangerous. And there are a lot of benefits, like it does help with the loneliness, but it can be really damaging because you're not going out and meeting actual people, which I think is very good for, you know, mental health and whatever. But that is the end to my dilemmas, and I did want to do like a full podcast, maybe talking about like Stranger Things and lots of things that are going on at the world at the moment, but also really would like to do more dilemmas and get you guys to maybe send in some dilemmas too. So if you'd like to leave a dilemma, let me know in the comments, and I will see you again for another episode. Until then, stay delusional, embrace the chaos, and I'll see you again for another episode. Bye.